What's up guys? My name's Aaron Marshall, aka Intervals, and I'm here today with Empress Effects to show you guys the new ParaEq Mark II Deluxe in the normal version. And I've prepared some sound examples to show you guys how to utilize parametric EQ in a modern guitar rig. Everything from subtle things like high pass and low pass, all the way to more stylized and characterized tones like some lo-fi, filters, etc. We're also going to show you how to use parametric EQ in front of an amplifier to coax different frequency response out of your guitar and pickup selection, and how to get some different sounds out of a given amplifier. A lot of the time in the guitar sphere, you'll see graphic EQs in a pedal, and this is sort of a unique approach to using studio grade parametric EQ in a pedal to be able to put that on your pedal board or place it in the effects loop, again, in front or after the amplifier to tame unruly frequencies or enhance the things that you need to hear. It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife of guitar equipment, so to speak. Studio grade EQ in a guitar pedal. So let's get into some sound examples and we'll go from there. All right, so in this first example, I'm gonna show you guys how to utilize the ParaEq in the effects loop of your amplifier. I'm plugged into a Rev Generator 120, and I've simply got the ParaEq in the effects loop. What we're gonna try to do here is create a rhythm guitar sound that fits well into a mix, whether it's a recorded mix or into a live mix. Something that I like to do as best practice is make sure that I'm rolling the edges off to tame low and high end, so that as you turn a guitar amp really loud, we get a sound that's smooth on the listener's ear and sits into a mix better. So this is what the amp sounds like, just raw and wide open. So as you can hear, it's a pretty unruly, saturated rhythm guitar sound with a lot of frequency information. So what we want to do is bring the edges in, so as we turn things up, it's going to be smoother on everybody's ears. So I'm going to engage the pedal. And the first thing we want to do is use the low pass to sort of fine tune the high end. I'm going to try to get somewhere in the realm of about 6K-ish. That's usually where I like to hear it. So as you can hear, it's getting a little smoother. If I toggle that off, and if I bring it back in, as you can hear, the high end starts to get a little more cozy, and that allows us to crank that without sounding too crazy. We're also going to do this with the low end as well. So I want to get right around perhaps the 80 hertz mark, something like this. Again, if we toggle it off, you hear all that low end information. Here we go. Now, it's a lot tighter. So the next move that I would probably make on a rhythm guitar sound like this is, since we've brought the edges in, I can hear the low mids kind of need a little bit of attention. And this is where the ParaEq becomes extremely flexible. Usually on a graphic EQ, you'll just have some very broad bands. I'm gonna get zeroed in on a frequency that I want to remove, and then I can use the Q to fine tune exactly how much of the neighboring frequencies we want to pull with that. So to my ear, it's something in the low mids, maybe 250-ish. So if I take the mid frequency and we kind of come down right around to 250, we can target that. And using a moderate Q here in the top, we can sort of notch this. The best thing you can do with a parametric EQ, just like we would do in the studio as well, is you can actually exaggerate that frequency to find it. So we're sitting right at 250, and we've got a moderate Q here. If I crank this, we can hear how woolly that low mid gets. And we can also use it to use the mid frequency to sweep and find maybe 250 is not the culprit, maybe it's a little higher. In this case, it is right around 250. It's a boxy frequency that usually gives me trouble. So I know that if I pull that down just a little bit, here's flat, and here is just a little bit of cut. Now, if I toggle this in and out, what you're gonna hear is the sound that we started with has a bunch of teeth on it, lots of low end information, lots of low mids, and if I toggle our EQ back in, we get a really stringy, clear sound that's going to sit really well in a mix, lots of string definition, and just feels cozier, whether it's your in-ear monitors or it's in the stage wedge, whether it's in the front of house or in a recorded mix. This is best practice for getting a really useful and versatile rhythm guitar tone. So that's high pass, low pass, ParaEq in the effects loop of an amplifier.